This is Neil Trimper, and today he is creating an ice carving at Hamilton Grounds for Sculpture for a huge audience at the picturesque facility. Neil works for a company called Sculpted Ice Works in the Poconos that manufactures ice blocks and custom carvings, and Neil originally got interested in ice carving after seeing a chef create one.
Many of us were chefs at one point. I saw a chef do it years ago. Said, I want to learn how to do that. Borrowed his tools, bought a block of ice, and just kept practicing, and then fell in love with it. And this today is my first ever musical instrument. I did a saxophone with some music notes coming out of it. A little warm today, so I couldn't freeze them on, but I've carved, you name it, I've carved it. There's not many I haven't done.
Neil starts by freezing his sketch to the 275-pound block of ice before assembling his saxophone and beginning the carving.
Keeps me passionate. It's different every day. It's like you don't know what's coming in on the orders. Now these are kind of fun, these demonstrations, like this one especially, they don't care what we carve. Come and carve 2 blocks so we get to create whatever we want.
2 other artists carve on the site with Neil, and each of them found ice carving in a different way.
Actually, I needed a summer job about 4 or 5 years ago, and I actually started producing ice down at the factory. About a year, I became the harvest supervisor, it was called, and then about 3 years ago, they pulled me into the freezer to run a CNC machine. So I started doing our CNC stuff, and now I carve on the side. They're slowly training me for the past 2 years, on and off. I've done, you can probably count them on both hands, less than 10 sculptures.
I professionally cook and do ice carving on the side. I'm actually making a career change to do ice carving full-time and put cooking on the back burner for a little bit. I went to school at Johnson & Wales University in Rhode Island and picked up ice carving my freshman year there. And ever since then, I fell in love with it and have been doing it since for 5 years now, 5+ years.
Using a variety of chainsaws, drills, chisels, and other tools, the artists chip and cut away at the ice to create some incredible sculptures.
We actually have about 64 giant machines that each have 2 bins in them, and they actually slowly freeze water. It takes about 3 to 4 days depending on weather, and we pull them out with clips that are frozen, and we cut them to size.
I saw a demo and I was amazed they took an ice cube basically and got this sculpture out of it. And I'm not very artistic, but you know, there's templates to get you started, and you can go from there, and there's basic stuff, and then once you know what you're doing, you can actually draw your own stuff up and know what you're gonna design structurally so that it doesn't fall as you're carving it.
Back at the workshop, they even have a CNC machine to create precise carvings.
Actually, we have a designer who does the CAD design, and she does programs. I take the flash drive, plug it into my computer, program the machine, tell it where it can and can't go, and we've got a handful of bits. There's a big 7/8 for outlines and area clears. There's a 3/16 for perfect words and lettering.
While Neil and the other artists usually work inside a freezer, the audiences and young kids create a fun day for everyone at Grounds for Sculpture.
I'm still getting used to it. I was never a good public speaker, but it's getting pretty cool just to see people clap for you and enjoy your art. It's a real nice thing.
I think it's because I work in a freezer most of the year by myself. I don't see a lot of people except for 1 or 2 people. So when I see the crowd, I kind of get like, finally someone's actually interested in what I'm doing. So it's kind of cool.